Good morning, everyone. This is a summary recording of my latest webinar for 2018 on blogging skills for business. And this month's webinar was all about blogging with style. So it was about finding your voice and your style and your consistency through your blogs. So just to give you a very quick introduction to who I am. So my name's Amy Morse and I'm a blogging mentor for businesses. I'm based over in the UK, but I work internationally online with different clients, helping them to grow their blog and grow their business essentially and write effectively. So my background has been in skills training, business advice, enterprise training for many years as a day job, but I also have been a writer ever since I was a little kid. And I have 4 fiction novels published in the name of Amy C. Fitzjohn. And the first of those was published in 2013. So for a long while, I've been running a kind of a part-time business, I suppose, if you like, as a writer, while operating a day job as a business advisor. And in 2015, I had the opportunity to bring my world as a business advisor and my world as an author together in one place when the enterprise agency I worked for closed down. So that's how I ended up running my own consultancy business, and my business is called Learn to Love Your Words. So website is learntoloveyourwords.com, and I built my whole business around blogging. So when I first published my first book in 2013, I started my first blog at that point. And that blog was a 365-day project to get my book published, and I very quickly started to appreciate the power of blogging. So since then, I've built my whole business around my blog. All of my content marketing is around a kind of a spine, if you like, of blogging. And as a writer, of course, blogging is fantastic because you get to do the one thing that you're going to do anyway, which is write, and also use that to grow your business. So that's what I do, and I now, as I say, mentor other small businesses to improve their blogging. Their blogging kind of style, their approach, build their influence, if you like, through their blog. And so I'm going to offer 3 very quick tips this morning that you can do to help find your style and your voice for your blog. So the first of my tips is about variety. So make sure that you have a good variety of content through your blogs. So I'm a writer, so obviously my go-to place is to write blogs, if you like, and that's what I specialize in helping people with. That said, content marketing can be videos, it can be audio, it can be images, and actually I would encourage you to play around with lots of different things on your blog. Always have it on your blog and always write about what's in the video and what's in the audio and include that on your blog, because without that written element, then Google isn't going to find it and it isn't going to be identified on search engines. But also often people want to know an answer to a question and they don't want to sit through a video, they just want to be able to scroll down and pick out, you know, the answer to their question really quickly in a piece of text. So it's always good to have the text on there, and of course I would say that as a writer, but you know, genuinely there are lots of reasons to do that. And also, one of the great advantages of having a good variety of content on your blog is that we all learn and consume information in different ways. So I've done various train the trainer workshops. Anybody who's done any teacher training will have come across this as well, but there's this idea of learning styles, which is ways that people kind of learn and consume information. There's several different models, but the one that I quite like it's called VARK, V-A-R-K, and that stands for visual, audio, reading and writing, and kinesthetic. So basically people either learn visually, they learn through audio, by hearing stuff, by reading and writing information, or by experiencing it as a kinesthetic learner, if you like. But we all have different scales of that. So for me personally, I'm visually to start with, and about 60% of the population tend to have a visual preference. But then secondly, it's all about reading and writing for me, unsurprisingly, and then kinesthetic. So I like to see something, research and read and write about it, and then experience it for myself, and that's how I learn information. And I'm not particularly unusual in that respect, because we are kind of conditioned through our education system, certainly in the West, to write essays, read information, do research. So we're kind of conditioned to favour a reading and writing learning style, regardless of our kind of natural tendencies, if you like. So even if people do have a tendency for kinesthetic or visual learning, they will still consume information by reading it and writing about it anyway. So that said, Having a bit of variety means that you can kind of appeal to different types of people within your community, within your tribe of people that you want to appeal to. You can give them the information in different formats, which allows you to share them across different platforms as well. And it's a great way of doing a bit of a split test, doing some research to see what's working, what's not working, have a mix of long content, short content, videos, audio, images, infographics, whatever on there, so you can monitor the results and test it and see what works and what is resonating with your audience. So my first tip is just a research, really, I suppose, by doing some split testing and appealing to different learning styles. My second tip is about voice recording and dictating your content. So personally, I am a big fan of notebooks, and I find that I'm more creative when I write by hand. It also means that I have the freedom to write from wherever. So yesterday afternoon it was a lovely sunny day here in the UK, so I was sat in my back garden writing blogs in my notebook. And that might sound like a little bit of a chore, because you think, oh, then got to get that onto the computer. But actually, very often you're more creative. There's something about that physically writing stuff in a book and using your hands that kind of connects with our kind of childlike creative brain, but it also gives you the freedom to do it anywhere. But then a quick way of getting that content into a digital format is to dictate it. And I literally just use my phone. I've got a Android phone, I've got Outlook email, and what I do is I open an email to myself, and on the keyboard there's a Google microphone, and I click on that, and then I just literally read what I've written in my notebook, and it's pretty good at picking up my voice. And actually, once it gets used to your voice, it sort of learns a bit, which kind of sounds a bit kind of, you know, Skynet creepy, but but it is really useful. It doesn't have punctuation in there, but you can kind of edit that out later. But it's often a lot quicker to read stuff if you're anything like me. If you speak and think faster than your fingers can go, then it's a great way of capturing your information. But the other great advantage of reading stuff and dictating it is that you quite literally get your voice into your writing that way. So your writing will tend to be more conversational, which obviously is much more appropriate for digital marketing, for content marketing. It needs to be more conversational, less academic. That's what people resonate with. That's what people share. And so it literally does that. But also, it's quite a useful editing intervention, because you read out the text, and if there's any bits that you read out that you stumble over, so you know when you read something out and there's bits of it that you stumble across, that's a bit of a red flag for you in the editing process, that you might want to just, you know, reframe those words a bit so it flows better. So my second tip is about dictating your content, because that's a great way of it actually literally having your voice within it, and people starting to recognize the way that you speak, I suppose, if you like, because it's in your writing. And then my third tip is to have some really simple style guidelines for your blog. So you can use it as your own little checklist, but it's also really useful to give to people who are guest contributors to your blog, so that they can be consistent with the style of your writing and your blog. And also it's useful if you've got several people in your team who are contributing content to your blog as well, because then they can all sing from the same song sheet, I suppose, if you want to put it, if you want to use a cliche, they can all use the same sort of style, so that even if they've got their own distinctive voices within it, it fits within the brand, if you like. So your style guidelines can be really simple, just like it's just a page checklist, but go into a bit of detail actually. So talk about what's the type of font you use, what sort of fonts and sizes do you use for headings, what fonts and sizes do you use for subheadings, how many images, what size of images are you going to have, what's the proportion of your images. It's always best to have your own images in your blog if you can, because all of that helps to build your own brand as well, and the instant recognition factor of your blog, so that people see it straight away, they recognize the look and the feel and the style of it, and they know that that's you, and if they're interested in you, then they'll continue, or they'll, you know, actually look out for you, and they'll recognize you straight away. So all of that helps to sort of build your brand and your profile and your influence by having consistency. So one little phrase that I'm just going to leave you with is, if content is king, then consistency is queen. So being consistent in your style, in your voice, allows people to get to know you better, and they get to like you, and they get to trust you. And when they start to trust you, they will recommend you to your friends. Their friends either refer you on or use your service themselves. So those are just my 3 tips. So do some research, do a bit of testing, appeal to different learning styles, dictate your content so that your voice literally comes through into it, and have some really clear guidelines that everybody who writes for your blog adheres to, so that it is in keeping with your brand. So I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions or comments or want to get in touch with me, then my website is learntoloveyourwords.com, and you'll find all of my content bits on there and my social media bits. I'm on Twitter a lot. My Twitter handle is @AmyMorseWriter, and I'd love to hear from you. And I hope that was helpful. Thanks for listening. Bye now.